What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, live for another week of NFL picks. It's time for week number 11 of the 2020 NFL season, and it's time to pick each and every game straight up and versus the spread. We are trying to maintain our supremacy straight up, and we're trying to get back in it in terms of our best bets. Best bets last couple of weeks, man, haven't been the greatest, but we've been able to maintain our reputation with the straight up picks, which, by the way, guys, we need to start a petition. All right. We need to start a petition. Why do I say let's start a petition? Because last week I posted this on Instagram. Okay. I was first place amongst all experts, whether it's CBS, Fox, ESPN, I don't know, you name it, okay? First place, but YouTubers don't get a spot on the list. So we need to start a petition for guys like me who do a dang picks video every week that is legitimately, you can see it, you have proof. We need to start the petition, all right? I'm just saying, because I should get credit for my hard work in my picks, just like Mina Kimes or anybody else that gets credit. All right, I'm just throwing that out there. There's proof. It's not like I'm just making this up. But anyways, we're going to try to get better in our best bets. That's exclusive to Patreon. I think what I might actually end up doing is experimenting with the best bets section, the best bets video. I might actually start doing a Colin Cowherd, what does he call it? The 5 picks that he does every week, Blazing 5, I think he calls it. I might start doing that on Fridays for the channel, and then I might start doing exclusive bets that I actually make on Patreon, because I feel like this past week, story time with Mitch, I did well this week in my bets. Like, I made money this week. But because I do my best bets on Patreon, where I pick only versus the spread with lines, which is actually the most difficult way to bet the NFL, by the way. It's pretty much proven at this point, although it's been better this year for most people. But I think that's what I might end up doing, is I might give you guys like a best bets video on Friday for free on YouTube for fun. And then I might do for Patreon, like for real people that want to bet, like the exclusive stuff that I'm actually betting on, and you can get the bets that I'm actually making. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing, and experiment with that for Patreon and YouTube moving forward for the rest of this season. But yeah, let's try to knock it out of the park in week number 11. And guys, week number 11 is absolutely loaded. Like, we have a ton of great matchups this week. I talked about it a bit on the bottom line. There's great primetime games. Thursday Night Football, Cardinals, Seahawks. That game is going to be exciting. A lot of people are looking forward to it. Obviously, with 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league, 2 MVP candidates, 2 teams that had an epic game not too long ago, and 2 teams at the top of their division. So that game is going to be awesome on Thursday night. Sunday Night Football is a rematch for Patrick Mahomes' revenge game versus the Raiders, where the Raiders upset the Chiefs the first time around. Can the Raiders beat the Chiefs in primetime? A Raiders team that the best we've had for the Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders since 2016. So this is one of the 2 best Raiders teams we've seen since they went to the Super Bowl. So the Raiders are starting to become exciting again, which is fun for the NFL. And now they're facing the Super Bowl champs on Sunday night. And then on Monday Night Football, we have the Bucs versus the Rams, which we know that Brady has beat that franchise twice in the Super Bowl. We have Sean McVay, Aaron Donald versus, I don't know, Mike Evans and Jalen Ramsey going at it. We have Chris Godwin and AB. Of course, the guys on the defense for the Bucs as well, Shaq Barrett, who's having a great season. So this game is going to be awesome. And I just think this week's going to be really, really good. And whenever I come on here and we talk about big weeks with a lot of key matchups, you know, what's going to happen? We're going to learn stuff. That's what's going to happen. We're going to learn about the AFC. We're going to learn about the NFC. And we're going to see if anybody slips or anybody rises in the playoff race, which we're starting to get into now as we reach Thanksgiving. As a lot of people would say around the NFL, as I would always say, being a Patriots fan, because, you know, we knew the Patriots, bragging here, that they would be in the playoffs. The season starts after Thanksgiving. That's typically what people say in the NFL when they're a legitimate team. That's when you want to be playing your best football. That's what we saw from the Tennessee Titans last year, where they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they were able to go from 9-7 to winning the wild card, to upsetting the divisional round, and getting to the conference championship game. You want to be playing your best football after Thanksgiving. And we're going to see which teams are doing so and which teams are not. And some teams that might get in the playoffs at 10-6 or 11-5 and are not the number 1 or number 2 seed might be playing better football than the teams that are 14-2 and 13-3. And that's what we have to try to determine going forward and making these picks and watching these games as fans, and always keeping an eye out to see what you think about the teams. Also crucial is the injuries that are coming down the wire for the rest of the season. Important for which teams are going to be in the playoffs. Who's actually playing on the field, right? Drew Brees out for the New Orleans Saints. That's a big deal, right? So there's some injuries that are going to have the huge impacts in these next couple of weeks. So let's start off with the first game on Thursday Night Football. But before we get to Thursday Night Football, make sure you guys do Gronk spike that like button. Gronk spike it. Support the channel by Gronk spiking the like button. Please, guys, Gronk spike that like button because it does help the channel. It helps the almighty YouTube algorithm for people to find this video, to find my channel. If you think this is a great channel, if you think that other people should be watching this channel, then definitely Gronk spike that like button. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is hit the like button. Also subscribe to the BLV channel, the Bottom Line View. Every day, basically, NFL content, weekly fantasy content. We have picks, we have live streams, we have much more. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and comment your questions or your opinion in the comment section, whether it is live or after the fact. Comment your opinion or comment your picks. Let me know in the comments who you guys are picking this week. All right. By the way, just for those of you that do watch the fantasy content, there's going to be hopefully the Stardom and Sit-em tomorrow. I'm not going to promise anything. Last week was extremely busy with school, and this is kind of the time of year, just an update on the channel, where I get like super busy with school stuff. So I'm trying to get everything out when I can. Tomorrow is going to be hopefully the Stardom and Sit-em. I want to get it out before the Cardinals game because I know that's a big game for fantasy. So I know that you guys have like a few players in that game that you're looking forward to playing or not playing. So I need to get that video out. But that is the hope that I do get it out before Thursday Night Football. So there's the fantasy update for you guys. If you have any fantasy questions, you can also leave them in the comments. Can't promise I'll get them to you, but it's better off that you do leave those comments tomorrow. All right, so let's get to Thursday Night Football, which the first game is the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are -3 in this game. The Cardinals are underdogs in this game, despite, honestly, probably playing the better football right now of the two teams. I think most NFL fans, having watched these two teams over the past couple of weeks, would say that the Cardinals have played better football, but Seattle is still favored. Of course, Vegas giving that home field advantage something, you know, a little bit of points here and there to the home team, but this is a great matchup. We have two quarterbacks. I compared Kyler Murray coming out of the draft, as did many other people, compare Kyler Murray to Russell Wilson and their style of play. And that's what we've seen from Kyler Murray, but a different level of scrambling ability, a different level of playmaking ability. It's hard to believe, but Kyler Murray is probably the best scrambler in the NFL today. That does not mean he's the best runner. That is still Lamar Jackson, but the best scrambler under pressure, making something happen with his feet to extend for his arm or just simply run the ball and make people miss. Kyler Murray is special and the best in that area. But Russell Wilson is the best at extending and hitting plays down the field. So you have two quarterbacks that just inherently create a fascinating, fun matchup on Thursday Night Football. Now, both teams have struggling defenses. Neither defense is very good. The Cardinals struggle with their pass rush, and the Seahawks struggle with their pass rush. But there is one main difference between the two. While I do believe the Cardinals secondary has been playing better, I think the main difference for both teams is the creativity that we see in the defensive staffs and the defensive coaches. Seattle continues to play the same system year after year, week after week, and they continue to get shredded. With the Cardinals, they're becoming more hybrid. They're becoming more dynamic. They're becoming a little bit different here and there, right? So we're seeing the man himself, can't remember his name, but I'm sure he's having the time of his life. Why his name is slipping my mind is incredible. But the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals, we'll just say that until I remember, he is doing a great job at kind of creating pressure by blitzing, creating confusion with his fronts. You know, he's actually utilizing a lot of what Brian Flores and what Bill Belichick are doing with their defenses and using a lot of hybrid athletes up front, you know, showing blitz, not showing blitz, coming out, using coverage, heavy coverage scheme. Without Chandler Jones, that is what the Cardinals are going to have to do to get pressure, right? With the Seahawks, they're trying, I want to say, like they're trying to blitz, they're trying to send five, but it's not really working. They're trying to get Jamal Adams involved as a pass rusher and a blitzer. It's not really working. And the secondary of the Cardinals, I think right now, if I had to say what is the most underrated secondary, it's probably the Cardinals. Now, I'm not saying they're like one of the best, but I'm saying like week to week, the secondary that's like, wow, you know, they're a lot better than I thought they would be before the year. It's the Cardinals. I think the improvement that Byron Murphy has made has been absolutely gigantic. Obviously, Budda Baker is a fantastic playmaker, but he's even improved in terms of his coverage game. And then Patrick Peterson has become healthier. He's not what he once was, but he's still a solid corner. And Drake Kirkpatrick, guys, has actually taken his game back to the level that we saw with Cincinnati like 2-3 years ago. So the Cardinals secondary in corners and safeties are pretty good. And I think that's what's allowed their defense to have some success in moments. Now, offensively, what I'm really curious to see is probably like Seattle, again, without Chris Carson. Are they able to get any sort of run game going? Are they able to create situations that allow them to take the pressure off of Russell Wilson? Because last week versus the Rams and in recent weeks, we've seen Wilson hasn't been at 100%. He hasn't been at his best, and the Seahawks have lost. And I just want to see the Seahawks be able to take a little pressure off of Wilson, whether that's through their defense playing better football, whether that's through the running game, that's easier throws for Russ. Whatever it may be, they need to create some sort of comfortable feeling for Russell Wilson to allow himself to settle into this game, to become the player we know he is, because he's had rough games. So if he's allowed to get into the game and not so much carry the team early, this is going to allow the Seahawks to win, I think. But if the Cardinals are going after the Seahawks and they're torching them and they're putting up points and Wilson's instantly having to go out there and just chuck it and make plays, that's where we could see Wilson spiral into his slump that we've seen in recent weeks. Kyler has not been exactly the passer that we thought he would be coming out of college, but his rushing ability has been so good that it hasn't really mattered that he's kind of an average passer right now. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a problem in this matchup. And when I look at the secondaries of both teams and I look at the receiving cores, I think the Cardinals have the edge in that matchup. But it's tough for me to say that the Seahawks are going to lose 3 games in a row. Am I going to learn my lesson? Because I said the exact same thing last week when I picked the Seahawks over the Rams, even though I felt the Rams were the better team over the Seahawks. But I do not see a sweep in this series. I do feel, watching that game the first time, the first matchup, the Seahawks were the better team for a majority of the game. The Cardinals were able to get in that game by circumstance, come back, I believe, from double digits, and the Seahawks made some mistakes. They threw a pick at the goal line. Budda Baker returned it like 99 yards or whatever, and Metcalf ran him down. There was some sloppy play. I don't expect that this week. The Seahawks desperately need a victory here, or else they're going to fall deeply behind the race in this division. The Cardinals beat them the first time. Seahawks are at home. It's a primetime spot. I'm going with the proven coach, the proven quarterback in this spot to win this clutch game. It's going to be extremely close. It likely will be within 3 or 4 or 5 points or 6 points, but I'm going to go with Seattle to win it. Now, in terms of the spread, I really don't know. I mean, 3 points with Seattle is always tricky. If this was 3.5, I would probably take the Cardinals here, but because it's only 3, I think I'm going to still take the Seahawks. I don't love the Seahawks. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're extremely flawed on defense, but in a game that is going to be a shootout, undoubtedly, I just feel like the Seahawks are going to get back on track. I think the Cardinals might be the better team, but I think Seattle is the team that in this spot will come and will rise to the occasion. So I will go with Seattle to win the Thursday night game. All right. Now to Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are -5. This is a game that will not feature Drew Brees. It will feature Jameis, famous Jameis, baby. He's back, baby. My favorite player in the NFL. Let's go. Where's my Jameis jersey, by the way? I need the Jameis jersey. Why do I not have a Jameis jersey? One of you guys, Turtle, somebody, you need to send me a Jameis Winston jersey. I don't care if it's like an extra small. I'll just put it on the thing here. I don't care if it's your kids. I don't care what it is. If it's a women's jersey, I'm putting it up and I'm displaying that bad boy. Because Jameis Winston is the best football player to watch there is in the NFL. I mean, you cannot tell me different. From the eating the W's, to the throwing the pick sixes, to the slinging the TDs. I mean, it can't get any better than watching Jameis Winston. But not just Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston in a Sean Payton offense. I mean, come on. Let's go, baby. I need to see Jameis Winston just throwing pick sixes and then coming back and slinging a rifle down the field to Taysom Hill. I can't wait for this one. I'm excited. I think Atlanta's going to make this game good. I think Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcons are coming off of a bye, which is always something, especially in a divisional game where you have that extra week you already kind of know what the other team does, and then you have that extra week of preparation to go over any extra notes or new things or new little wrinkles that they've added to their game plan over the years. And then you can adapt that and you can go over what's gone right for you, what's gone wrong for you. I don't know if Calvin Ridley's going to play in this game. I hope he does, but I'm not sure if he will. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, this offense will keep this game close. New Orleans defense has been better as of late. Since that Bucs game, they had a kind of a slow start versus the 49ers, but they did look good and promising again. Their defensive line has the capability of winning this game if they can get pressure after Matt Ryan. Atlanta's defense has been a lot better as well since firing their head coach and basically installing a new defensive head coach in Morris. But I think that I should take New Orleans to win the game just because I think they're the better team all around. I think even without Breeze, they should be able to win it. Winston could lose this game. He could lose to anybody, but he could also beat anybody because of his play style, because of his variance that he offers. But I do believe that Sean Payton will throw in some Taysom Hill. He'll make Winston early in the game deliver short passes to get the rhythm going in the offense, heavily reliant on Alvin Kamara. I do believe Atlanta gave the Saints problems last year too. I think they beat them pretty good in one of the games. They were able to get pressure after Breeze. If that happens on Winston, that's where the turnovers could start. One thing that I want to see with Winston is, does he get the ball out quickly like Breeze, or does it take him an extra second to deliver the football? And then how does that therefore affect the rest of the offense? Because that's something that will definitely change the offense. I think that the Saints are going to win, but I'll take the 5 points with the Atlanta Falcons. It is a divisional game. Atlanta could certainly win this game. I do expect them to win one of the games, so it could be this one, but I really just can't take them to win because I feel like the Saints are better, and I feel like they should win more times than not. So even if it's not Breeze at quarterback, we saw this Saints team last year go undefeated with Teddy Bridgewater. So they have earned that credit to put a quarterback that is not bad, Jameis Winston, a quarterback that has a lot of talent to be able to deliver a victory at home. So I'll take the Saints, but I do think they're going to win by like 4. I think it's going to be like 27-23, like 30-24, something like 31-27, 30-27, like somewhere in there where it's a one-score game and it comes down to, 1 point or 2 versus the spread. But if I were advising who to take in this game, I would probably take Atlanta plus the points. So I'm going to do New Orleans to win, but Atlanta plus the 5. Ultra's taking the Falcons, of course. He says, Atlanta is winning in New Orleans for a second straight season. Ryan and Julio have good games like they always do. And Deion Jones limits Alvin Kamara. Falcons win 24-21. Guys, if you're just joining the chat, make sure you do Gronk spike that like button. Don't forget to Gronk spike it. Durkant says, bold take. Jameis throws 3 interceptions. Atlanta's defense, yes, I said it, Atlanta's defense clamps down on the Saints. They come in off a bye and bully these Saints in their building 27-13. Holy smokes. Lori has the Saints 30-27. So there you go. Interesting. I like it though. All right, number 3 is the Cincinnati Bengals against the Washington football team. Washington is favored by 1.5 points in this game. Now, there's one matchup I do want to talk about in this game that I think is the reason Washington's favored outside of being at home, which is the fact that Washington has an absolutely awesome front and they're able to create pressure. They have Chase Young and the boys up front, which are a very stout unit, but Cincinnati, that offensive line, absolutely dreadful. So that is a mismatch in my mind. But I don't care because Alex Smith is the quarterback for Washington and Joe Burrow is the quarterback for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow and these receivers, I think, will be enough for Cincinnati to move the football. Burrow will get the ball out quick. Those receivers will win their matchups on the outside, and that will dictate them to be able to move the ball through the air down the field. On the flip side, Washington doesn't really do anything well on offense, run, pass. They came back, but they were getting destroyed by Detroit, but it's the Lions. They let everyone come back. Sure, I could see Washington win this game because Cincinnati's not very good, but I like the upset here, the slight upset. I like the underdog. I will take the Bengals and Mr. Cover Joe Burrow to win this game 20-17. How about that? Is Jameis Winston versus Ryan the most fun quarterback versus the most boring quarterback? Probably. Probably. First versus second pick. That's true. That's true. Hey, get out of here with that comment, Ultra. I see you. All right. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. We got it. It's the New England Patriots at the Houston Texans. Now, this line started, the Texans were favored by 2 points before the New England Patriots beat the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. But it turned around because people saw the Patriots upset the Ravens and then were like, whoa, 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 this line is wrong. So now New England is favored by 1.5 points. I actually really like this matchup for the Patriots. I think that they will win this game, but I am not picking them to win because I am not allowed. I am picking the Houston Texans to win this game because the Patriots are the underdog. They do not deserve to win because they're the Patriots. So I am taking the Texans to win this game. I am sacrificing myself for the right of the Patriots. So we're going to keep this going. The Texans are going to win 24-20, baby. But really, why do I like the Patriots in this matchup? I like the Patriots because, and I'm not picking them, I'm just letting you know, when I'm taking the L, okay? I'm taking the L. If the Patriots win, I'm putting an L beside my name. I'm letting you know, this is not just me saying this. I'm legitimately taking an L, guys. And remember, I had the best picks last week, number 1 amongst all these people. So I'm taking an L just so the Patriots win, all right? But why do I like the Patriots? The Texans are the worst, maybe the second worst, but they're one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. The Bengals had 2 100-yard runners in that game. Two. Chubb and Hunt. The Patriots might have the best run-blocking offensive line in all of football, so they will be able to run the ball, sustain pace of play, keep the ball away from Watson, and when Watson does get the ball, the Texans are a team that love the vertical passing attack. They're not a great running team, and the Patriots have one of the better secondaries and coverage units in football, and they will be able to devise a plan to slow down Watson. Not saying they'll shut him down, but slow him down enough. And when you are maintaining the ball, that does help to slow down the quarterback as well. So I do think the Patriots win this game. They bully the Texans defense, and I don't think they blow them out, but like they win like 20, I'm going to say 27-20 or 27 to like 17 maybe. Something like that, I think. The Texans aren't very good. Maybe they score at the end, like backdoor cover or whatever. Like, I don't know. But I think the Patriots win, but I'm going to take the Texans for my picks. Patriots, for the spread, I'm going to take the Texans as well, even though I would take the Patriots. So, let's get to the next game. We're keeping the underdog story alive, baby. Let's go. All right. Make sure you guys do Gronk spike that like button, though. Don't forget to do that. Helps the YouTube algorithm other people find this video. All right. Most people in the chat, by the way, are picking New England, which is interesting. Leonardo says Texans don't have crap at corner. Patriots have trash ass receivers. Can get some separation. Pats win. Ultra says the Finns would be undefeated if quarterback Mitch has a jersey in the... What? Oh, if Dan Marino played for them. Probably. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is minus 3.5 points. The Philadelphia Eagles are absolutely dreadful at the game of football. Now, when I look at this game, I think it's going to be really competitive. I actually see another low-scoring game for the Browns here, which have played a few low-scoring games in a row, I believe. I think that the Eagles will do a decent enough job to slow down the rushing attack of the Browns, and the Browns really don't have a good passing game. And then on the flip side, the Eagles' offense is in shambles. If they don't create a big play, they are very, very inconsistent. I do believe that the Eagles are going to upset the Browns here. I don't know why. I have a feeling, okay? I have a feeling that the Eagles are going to win. I don't think the Eagles are good. To be fair, I don't think the Browns are very good either, okay? But I do not like the Browns being favorites. And I think this is a potential down game for the Browns. Not a lot of logic outside of I don't think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are just going to bully their way to 200 yards again. I think Mayfield is going to be forced into awkward situations. He will turn the ball over once or twice. This will allow the Eagles to get good field position. The Browns defense isn't very good outside of Myles Garrett, and Lane Johnson and Jason Peters are good tackles. So I'm not so worried about that matchup. And I don't think that, the Browns are going to be able to cover guys like Dallas Goedert or Miles Sanders. Those are going to be difficult matchups for them. So I actually like the Eagles, quite a bit in this game. So I'm going to take Philadelphia to win, but I will definitely take the 3.5 points here because it's going to be probably a lower scoring game and probably a sloppy game. All right. The next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh is -10, a touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal. Pittsburgh is an undefeated team, the last remaining undefeated team in the NFL right now. Jacksonville is doggy doo-doo, but they were competitive versus the Green Bay Packers last week in a shocking, close game, I would say, and an almost upset of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, will win. I believe will dominate this game as they should. Now, I think there's going to be people that are crazy and pick an upset here because Pittsburgh's usually due for a really bad game, but they did kind of already have that really bad game versus Dallas, and anyone that is actually sane cannot pick the Jacksonville Jags to win this game. So even though Pittsburgh could lose, whatever, they're probably going to lose a game this year. Are we really going to pick the Steelers to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Really? So I am curious, though, why the spread's only 10. That is kind of curious to me because so the Steelers are considered better than the Packers, but the Packers were favored by 14 or whatever. But the Steelers are only favored by 10. Does this mean that Vegas has kind of risen on the expectation of what Jacksonville is? Do they actually feel like their quarterback play isn't so bad that we thought it would be? What exactly is it that is allowing Jacksonville to only be a 10-point dog? So because of that conspiracy, I feel like I should take Jacksonville plus 10. And like I said, Pittsburgh's always due for down performances and to play down to their competition. So because of that, I will say Pittsburgh wins this game. But I will take the 10 points because Jacksonville has played competitive football versus good teams, and Pittsburgh tends to play down to their opponent. So that's my theory on this game. All right. Next, the Tennessee Titans at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 6.5 in a divisional round rematch. I do not love Baltimore being favored by 6.5 points. So you guys know who I'm taking with the 6.5. That's the Tennessee Titans. As for who's actually going to win this game, That is a good question. Both teams are struggling in specifically their offensive schemes, but I don't really know who's going to be able to bounce back. Like, I feel like Tennessee, maybe it's like a matchup thing where the Titans just are able to match up well with the Ravens. I do feel like the Titans can take a lot of what New England did and do the same thing because they have similar elements. Like, their defenses are built similarly. They have similar schemes on defense. They have similar rushing attacks. Although I would not say that the Titans' offensive line is like New England's, but they do have Derrick Henry. So the Titans, I just think, are a good matchup for Baltimore. I don't know if I can pick Baltimore to lose this game, though. This is a big game for Baltimore. Not only do they have to win to maintain at least wild card supremacy and to maintain a solid playoff spot, but this is a revenge game. This is the game that the Ravens circled before the season started. So because of that, I think the Ravens find a way to come out and win the game. But I will take the Titans because I feel like their matchups are favorable with the points. The Ravens at home are always tough. And that defense, Tannehill playing a little bit below his level, I do think the Ravens will come out on top, but it will be in a close one-score game. Next game is the Miami Dolphins at the Denver Broncos. The Miami Dolphins are -3.5, which was kind of a strange spread when I first saw it. This is actually one of the games, I'll give it away for you. I already bet it. I already took Miami. I believe I took Miami at 3 points instead of 3.5. This is just a confusing spread because Denver was absolutely atrocious last week. Their defense wasn't good, but Drew Lock was awful. So considering that, I do feel like the Broncos are just not playing quality football, but I think Brian Flores' defense that's playing very quality football, very good football, will be able to take the ball away from this offense and Drew Lock and force mistakes, which Lock has pretty much fed defenses interceptions and turnovers for most of the games he's played this year. On the other hand, Tua doesn't really do that. Tua doesn't really force the ball. Like, he doesn't make a lot of big throws, but for a young quarterback, he's a very good decision maker. He understands what team he's on. He understands that he is on a team that is built through their defense, their special teams, and he only needs to make a couple plays a game. Really, the Dolphins, they won the game last week again through getting great field position. That is how they won. I could see that happening again. I think, the one thing that concerns me is the travel, that Miami has to travel to Denver, which is always skeptical and always worthy of investigation and thought. But I just think Miami is playing way better. I think they're the way better team. Maybe this is a letdown spot. Maybe this is a bounce back spot for Denver. But based on their current product they place on the field, there's nothing in me that says the Broncos can win this game or even make this kind of close. I think the Dolphins win by 10-ish. So I'll take Miami. All right. The New York Jets at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored big, 8.5 points, although that's not big in comparison to the other lines that we've seen the Jets be an underdog to, and, even the Patriots or the Chiefs especially, but there are some really, really big lines the Jets have faced this year as underdogs. The Chargers have not played well. I mean, they've been competitive in many of their games, but they have not been able to come out the winner in a lot of their games. I think the Chargers win this game, but I will not take the Chargers to cover. I just don't think they're a competent enough team. Their defense is playing terrible, god-awful football, and Herbert was not very good last week. I understand that was against a much better defense, but what Greg Williams does is he does pressure you, so it's going to be interesting to watch. I think the Jets will lose again, but I think the Chargers are just not good enough for me to say that they'll cover 8.5 versus any team in the league. So I'm going to take the 8.5 with the Jets, but I will take the Chargers to win. I don't want to spend too much time on this game. Hopefully Herbert has another good game with a new haircut. We'll see what he does. All right. Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings they're 7-point favorites. I got the line wrong. My bad. It's Minnesota -7, not Dallas -7, just so you know that. That should be obvious, but just so you know that. This game, I think Minnesota should win, but I don't know if Minnesota is worthy of being favored by a touchdown versus any team in the league. I think Minnesota played good versus the Bears, and maybe I'm underrating the Vikings, but I think the Cowboys have played much better since kind of getting rid of Dontari Poe and Daryl Worley. Their defense has been much, much more competitive and stingy and just like aggressive. I don't know. I think the Cowboys are going to make this one competitive, actually. They're coming off a bye week. They're resetting expectations. Andy Dalton is supposedly back. The Vikings secondary isn't very good, and their pass rush isn't very good. So I think the Vikings will struggle with like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup making plays down the field. I think that's enough, and Dalton should have time. So, and the thing about the Vikings is with covering any spread is they're a very slow team. So they love to run the ball. They love to chew clock, which means the game is going to be closer inherently. So I think the Cowboys, their competitive nature, they've kind of turned their defense around a little bit. I expect that to be the case in this game. Dalvin Cook should have a big game here, but big running games don't always equate to covering spreads. So I'm going to say that the Cowboys make this one close, but the Vikings do win. This is going to be a game where the Vikings win kind of comfortably, but the Cowboys are able to cover the spread, I think. Maybe the Cowboys are able to pull the upset off, which would be huge for Dallas, but which would be a major, major hit to the Vikings' playoff chances. I don't think the Vikings will win the game. I don't think the Cowboys will win the game. I'm going to pick the Vikings, but I wouldn't be shocked if this game was closer than a lot of people expect. Again, it's Minnesota -7, not Dallas. I just messed up with the graphic. All right. Green Bay Packers at the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, this line is correct. The Colts are favored versus Aaron Rodgers, and the Packers favored by 1.5. In this game, I do see the Green Bay Packers having a tough time with this Colts defense. I think the Colts defense is one of those units, just like the Chargers, Niners, Bucks, built with their front four, built through their front seven. They get great pressure. They have great second-level speed, and they're able to flow sideline to sideline with the running game, flow sideline to sideline with the play-action game, and they're able to create pressure with just 4 on Aaron Rodgers. This is something that has been kind of a blueprint to beating the Packers over the past 2 seasons. I think the Colts win this game. I do believe Alexander is hurt, which would be a huge loss for the Packers if he is in fact hurt, which would allow Phillip Rivers to have a big day. I think either way, though, the Colts find a way to run the ball well enough to be able to maintain possession, and I do think the coaching matchup favors the Colts as well as the home field matchup. So I'm actually going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. I know they're the favorites, but I think a lot of NFL fans will be picking the Packers in this game because they are a popular team. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is a popular quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Colts. They're a difficult matchup for the Packers. I think this will be the stream of the week. I put this as the stream of the week just because I'm not really sure what game's going to be the stream of the week right now. But as of right now, I have the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. And finally, I missed one. I missed the Chiefs and the Raiders, so I'm just going to do that here. I knew I missed one. This last one is the Rams and the Bucks. Yeah, I think I missed one. So, let's just talk about it right now. So, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. If I missed any other ones, let me know, guys. The Raiders, okay, what's the spread? Let's actually look that up. I think it's like 6. But I could be wrong. I think it's 6. Let me just check so I don't get it wrong. Okay. Where's Chiefs and Raiders? Is the spread not up? Is there like a COVID situation going on with those teams? I don't see the game up on my website. Let me check. Interesting. Chiefs are -7 according to this. Still the Sunday Night Football matchup. All right, so I'll just go based on that. Chiefs -7. So that pick might change. 6.5. Okay, 6.5. Let's say 6.5. So Kansas City Chiefs, Las Vegas Raiders. First game, Raiders were able to win the game. Raiders came out. They ran the ball well enough. They hit a few big plays down the field. The first time we kind of saw the Henry Ruggs experience with the Raiders work out to perfection. Mahomes did move the ball well at the end of the game, but we saw at the beginning of the game that they were actually, the Raiders defense, pretty stingy. What I will say is the Raiders have actually an underrated secondary, just like the Cardinals. A lot of young players that are playing better, playing well. The Raiders offense, many of you would be surprised. It's probably efficiency-wise a top 5 offense in football. I know that it doesn't really appear to be because of the names on the offense, specifically at receiver. They don't wow you. This is a really good offense. They're able to move the ball. They're able to keep things really close. They're able to move the ball on the ground, move the ball through the air, through the short passing game. They mix in the screen game. They mix in a couple deep shots a game. And their defense is competitive. Their pass rush isn't great. I think they do have injuries on their defensive line. The Chiefs, they are in a spot where if they win this game, they basically can run away with the division. So it's a big game for them. Plus, they want to prove that they can beat the Raiders, right? The Raiders beat them, the only team to beat them. So they want to basically get back at the Raiders for that last game. I don't see any team really beating Mahomes twice in a season. It's very difficult to do, any great quarterback. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win because the first time I watched the game, I felt like the Chiefs moved the ball, but they were a little sluggish. They were a little slow. At the start, it just was a little sloppy. So I feel like the Chiefs, kind of having that edge of knowing that they lost to them the first time, will come out guns blazing, hitting on all cylinders, and hitting a few big plays to Hill, Kelsey, and the group. And I feel like the defense, while it might struggle, I think the Raiders will move the ball. I think the Raiders will keep this one close. I just think in a duel, in a shootout, I have to side with Mahomes. It's very rare that you beat this offense in a shootout. So I'll take the Chiefs to win, but I think the 6.5, 7 points is a little too much, in my opinion, given that it's a rivalry game, given the Raiders beat them the first time, given the Raiders on offense can go toe-to-toe with a lot of offenses. They can control the clock. They can play their game. They can keep the game close through their offense, not so much through their defense, but through their offense, which is more important. I'm going to take the Raiders plus the points, but I will take the Chiefs to win the game because, could the Chiefs win by 2 touchdowns? Yeah, they could, but I do expect this game to be competitive. It's under the bright lights of Sunday Night Football, and I do feel the Raiders are underrated. Their defense has not been bad this year. It's been a lot better. So I'll take the Chiefs to win with the Raiders to cover. Now, finally, the Monday Night Football matchup. Guys, make sure you do Gronk spike that like button for the Monday Night Football game. Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are now favored by 4. The Bucs were favored, I believe, by 3 or 3.5 when the line opened, and now it's 4. So obviously there's been a little bit of movement towards the Bucs, but not a ton. I don't think the line will go up a lot. I do see this game as an extremely competitive, fun Monday night game. I actually don't think it's going to be fun in the traditional sense. I think it's going to be more fun in terms of a back and forth, competitive, defensive game. There's going to be big plays by the offense, but I think it's actually going to be more of a defensive game, in my opinion. So I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the game. Reason I'm going to take Tampa Bay, okay? I think they have the offensive line to win the matchup up front versus a strong Rams defensive line. Now, the team that's given the Bucs some issues is the Saints, who do have a strong defensive line. The Bears were also able to beat the Bucs. So if Aaron Donald can disrupt the rhythm of Tom Brady, get interior pressure, and push the pocket, then potentially the Bucs offense could be slowed, which I do expect. I do expect the Rams defense to have a pretty good game. I think the Rams will keep the Bucs under 27. I think the Bucs will score somewhere around 20 to 24 points. I think this is a game where the Bucs defense wins the game. And the reason why I say that is because I don't see the Rams offense having enough vertical threat to really scare the Bucs into worrying about Woods or worrying about Kupp down the field. And I think this front is so good for the Bucs that they're able to pursue the run game horizontally, in the zone run game that McVay loves. So they're able to slow the run game down, and they're able to push the pocket and create pressure versus Jared Goff, who we know is the worst quarterback under pressure in football. So I think Jared Goff being such a bad quarterback under pressure, with the combination of the Bucs' ability to stop the run, I think the Bucs' defense, especially at home, with the Rams having to travel on a Monday to Tampa Bay across the country, is a big reason I have the Buccaneers winning. I also really like the way the Bucs moved the ball and ran their offense a week ago versus the Panthers. I really think that they are getting the fundamentals back in terms of Ronald Jones being their running back, running that football, play action off the 2 tight end sets. And then they've gotten Antonio Brown a little bit more comfortable. It looks like Mike Evans is a little healthier. So the Bucs are holding the Bucs defensively is going to be holding them past this point. I do believe to low 20s. That's going to be a good defensive game for any defense versus the Bucs offense going forward, in my opinion. I think that's what we're going to see. And we saw this team, they're capable of blowing just about any team out. So the one thing I will say, they've been bad on primetime this year. I'm not sure why that is. And I think that's why people still have doubts about the Bucs, is because they see them on Sunday night, Thursday night, Monday night have their worst games. But if you tuned in to the Packers game or the Raiders game or the Panthers game or basically any other game, you would say holy crap, this is the best team in football. So the Buccaneers need to find that consistency. And of course, they're still working through some things, but it does appear that after that Saints fat L they took on Sunday night, that they learned what they're good at and what they're not good at. And what that means is they're good at, on offense, run the ball with Ronald Jones, not Leonard Fournette, 2 tight end set, deep shots, spread it out for short gains, and spread the wealth around to the best matchup. And that's what they've really been good at all year, but they've just added Antonio Brown into the mix. That is what we saw versus the Panthers, and that's what we need to see moving forward. And we need to see the play calling maintain consistency. The Rams, their defense, I've said it, super underrated. I think they'll have a good game here. I'm excited to see how they use Jalen Ramsey. I'm excited to see the Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen matchup versus Aaron Donald. They have some ballers in the secondary in LA. Williams is playing really well as well. Of course, Johnson. These guys are playing great football. I just think it's going to be Jared Goff having one of his down games. That is going to be the result of the Bucs being able to win this game. So I'll take Tampa Bay to win. I will also take Tampa Bay to cover, but I'm not extremely confident about it. I do think it could be a field goal game. I like the Rams. Guys, you have to understand, I like the Bucs. I think they're the best team in the NFC. In most matchups, it just seems like they can't beat the Saints. Those 2 teams are the best teams in the NFC. The Rams are probably the 3rd best team in the NFC. So this is a matchup between 3rd or 4th. So this is a matchup between 2 of the NFC elite on Monday Night Football. I'll take Tom Brady to beat Sean McVay and Jared Goff once again. It is interesting, though, that, Brady did struggle in that Super Bowl, but it's a different defensive staff. It's a different defense, so there's not much to take from that, but yeah. Yes, I have seen the complaint that I didn't pick Carolina, Detroit. The reason why I don't have the graphics ready is because I'm using my betting site, and because of COVID, they've taken down some of the games. So I didn't realize that a couple of the games were not there. So when I made the graphics, I did not see the games on the site, which is why I did not put graphics for them. So the Chiefs and Raiders game I went over, but for the Panthers and the Lions, I believe Matthew Stafford is going to play. I know he has a torn ligament or something in his thumb, so that is concerning. I like the Panthers. I think they have a very good offense. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think if Kenny Golladay plays, the Lions will win. If Kenny Golladay does not play, I'll pick the Panthers. I think the Panthers' offense is really, really good. They're crisp. Their scheme is excellent. I can't really rely on the Lions' defense at this point. I don't think the Lions' defense is any good. And if it comes down to a hurt Matthew Stafford without Kenny Golladay, I think it's going to be tough for them to win. So I would love to pick the Lions. I hope the Lions win. I'll be rooting for them to win. And the Panthers have been playing worse football, but I think the Bucs made them look worse than they are. They're not that bad. They're closer to the team that was competitive with the Chiefs. The Panthers can score on anybody. And that's my concern with the Lions. The Lions' offense is inconsistent, whether that's due to not enough playmakers or not due to play calling, due to handing the ball off to Adrian Peterson for no reason. Whatever it is, their offense is stagnant sometimes. And the Panthers, not as much, even though they have the worst quarterback. I could see the Lions winning, definitely, but I'll take the Panthers to win if Kenny Golladay does not play. All right, so those are my picks for week number 11 of the 2020 NFL season. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, Gronk, spike that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. All right, let's get to your comments. Leave your comments right now so we can talk about these games and football this week. Nicholas says, why couldn't we just lose to the Falcons and Lions when we were down, then lose to the Bucs? Then we would just lose the Tank Bowl versus the Jags and get Fields. I don't know, Nicholas. That's what I thought you guys were going to do, but you didn't do it. Ultra says the Falcons are 3 plays from being 6-3. Seth says, what is everyone thinking? Matt Ryan can easily win this game without Breeze. Matt Ryan will be relaxed, and this game will be a gift. Wow. I don't know, man. Saints are still a really good team. That's a problem. Rabbit says Raiders. Turkant says, I really hustled this man Mitch's graphic. Shake my head. I don't know what you're talking about. Brian says our defense is a lead. I don't know who he's talking about. Brian says they are the Jets. The only way the Bears get a franchise quarterback is to get one that won't bust. I mean, that's what everybody's looking for. Nicholas Gill is here. Did you know that Clay Matthews is on the Chiefs? Did he sign with the Chiefs? You serious? Holden says, who are your favorite Patriot rookies so far? Omenahue, definitely, and Kyle Duggar for sure. I mean, those guys are studs. I would like to see Uche more involved. I feel like he is pretty good from what I've seen, but I think this has been a good draft for New England. I've seen a lot of promise from a lot of the guys that they took. So I mean, getting a absolute stud offensive lineman in the 6th round is a blessing, and getting a really promising safety hybrid linebacker is awesome. So, I mean, yeah, they at least have 2 foundational players, if not 3. So that's a really good draft. I haven't seen much of Jennings yet. I have a feeling he's going to be a lot like an Landon Roberts or a Jawan Bentley. I think he's going to be like a rotation linebacker that's like solid but nothing special. That's my feeling about him, but we'll see. I got to do my Pro Bowl voting sometime, maybe the weekend. Nicholas says, Mitch, why do you seem kind of mad at the Bills for giving up the Hail Murray? Did you bet on Buffalo or something? Yes, I did. But second, why wouldn't you be mad? I mean, how can you let that happen? Bills are a bunch of jabronis. Oh, Durkant made the Lions graphic. Sorry, man, I didn't know. Seahawks and Lions fan says, Mitch, why don't you stream? Why did I read it like it said Steam? I can't see. Why don't you stream the Rams versus the Bucks? I don't know. I don't really love doing primetime games, to be honest with you, because if I'm being honest with you, there's a lot of competition at those times. Other people love to do primetime streams. I might do it. We'll see. I do like some of the Sunday matchups as well, though. I've done some Bucks games already. We'll see. I mean, I do want to give other teams an opportunity to stream as well. What's my Super Bowl pick? Probably right now it's Chiefs and Bucks. Zelda says, do you think the Raiders have a chance to sweep the Chiefs? They have a chance, but it's small. Very small. It's hard to sweep the Chiefs. What's your prediction about Miami versus Denver? I have Miami winning. Should I go Ben or Cam this weekend? I like both of them. Probably Ben is safer. I think Cam has pretty solid floor as well, though. I mean, I'm starting Cam in a couple of my leagues this week. I like his matchup a lot. He'll be in my start section, but probably so will Ben. See, here's the thing. I thought that last week Ben would take the foot off the gas pedal, but he didn't. He actually threw like 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So you might be able to rely on Ben to score points deep into the game for fantasy. So Ben might be the guy there. But I like Cam too. I like both of them. What do I think about Arkansas? I don't think anything. I don't really watch them. Best quarterback? I would have to say Mahomes right now. Connor says, did Chubb make the right football move? I don't know. Obviously, I'm biased because I have him on my fantasy team. It didn't end up hurting me, but I don't think he did. Like, I don't understand the difference between being up 10 with like a minute left or just going out of bounds. Like, because going out of bounds stops the clock. I don't know. Like, I don't think it would have mattered either way. I guess he did technically, but I don't think it would have mattered. The likeliness of the other team winning that game is so slim. You might as well put that touchdown in the end zone. Brian says, Mitch, how does this trade sound? First pick for 2 firsts, Anthony Miller, Buster Screen, a 3rd, a 5th. Also, those earlier comments were from my conversation with Nick. Oh. First pick for... I don't think they're going to do that. To be honest. I mean, it depends how high the Bears pick is. How likely do you think it is the Vikings make the playoffs? Like, an 8% chance. It's very low. Ultra says, Mitch, don't ever stream the Bucks again because they always lose. I might have to pull a Patriots with them. Can I stream the Seahawks and Cards? Probably not, because I have some assignments I got to do for school. So Thursday's probably not in the cards, but Sunday for sure. Sorry guys, I gotta do school too. I can't just if I'd make 2 videos a day if I didn't have to do school. Lockett or Darrell Henderson flex? I would go with Lockett probably. I guess it depends what league you're in. I would probably go with Lockett. Considering the Bucks are a tough matchup versus running backs, I don't see the upside in that matchup, so I'd probably just go with Lockett regardless. Bobby Wagner or Luke Kuechly? I would go with Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly's not playing right now, but in their prime, I would go with Luke Kuechly. Murray was outplayed by Allen, says Ultra. Jaden says Derek Carr or Patrick Mahomes. Dylan says, do you think Cam is the answer for the Patriots? I hope that they keep him. Let's just say that. I was listening to the Patriots PFW in progress. If you guys know, if you guys don't know, you don't know. Let's just say, but they were like talking about Cam like he's not the like an answer at all. Like he's the reason they're not good or whatever. And I was just like listening to them, and I'm like, huh? Like he's played like really well. Like they were like he played fine the last 3 games. I was like, he played really well the last 3 games. Like, what do you expect from this offense? It's almost like they forgot that Brady was crap last year in a lot of these same games with a lot of the same teammates. Like, Brady was really good at the beginning of the year because he had actual weapons. And then once they lost all their weapons, Brady's stats didn't look any better. Perhaps they looked worse than Cam's. So, like, I don't know what these guys are talking about, but, like, if this team had last year's defense, they would definitely be in the same spot they were last year. So I like Cam. I know that he's always been one of my favorite players, but like the chances you're going to find Cam a better player than Cam next year is very slim. You know, whether that's a rookie or that's a veteran or a free agent or whatever, the chances you're going to find somebody better than him that will know the system now with a full offseason to add things and layer onto it, and then on a cheaper contract where you could potentially get Cam for, let's say, $20 million instead of like $2 million, you could get him for $20 million, which is still like a bargain $10 million less than Brady. I mean, I just don't understand the perspective of some Patriots fans that are blaming the losses on Cam. He had one really bad game versus the Broncos, but outside of that, no loss has been on Cam. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys see it differently. I just don't agree. And using stats in this argument is just a poor argument in general because the offense isn't conducive to passing the ball. The offense passing the ball is dreadful. Like I don't understand how anybody would expect any quarterback to be great passing the ball in this offense. It's just, I don't know. Randomness says, by the way, I've watched the Hail Mary like 20 times, and how the Hail Mary catch happened because of one of the Bills defenders ran into another Bill defender, and Micah Hyde was on the back of DeAndre Hopkins. Luke Kuechly or Ray Lewis? Ray Lewis. Rob says Mitch is a busy man, can knock the hustle. Damn right. Henderson or Drake this weekend? PPR. Drake plays Thursday, so I'd go with. That's tough though, because Drake splits a lot of the touches with Edmonds. I still think that's a better matchup though. I like the way the Cardinals' run game looks. I would go with Mr. Drake. Kirk or Anderson? Ooh. I want to say Anderson, but Kirk does have some upside. Antonio Brown, Sanders, or Rojo? Ooh. Depends what type of league it is. Antonio Brown, Sanders. Who's Sanders? Not Miles, I'm assuming. I'm assuming it's Emmanuel Sanders. I would take him out. I think it's between Antonio Brown and Rojo. I think for a full PPR, I would say Antonio Brown, but I think you're safer with Rojo. I think it's going to be tough for the Bucs to run the ball this week, but he should be able to have a decent enough game as like a flex or running back 2 option. Joshua, I picked the Buccaneers. Explain if Burrow or Herbert is playing better. That's tough. I think Burrow is doing all the little things better. I think he's reading defenses better. I think he's getting rid of the ball better, like quicker. He's extending plays spectacularly. He's carrying a team that's not very good. Herbert is making big plays far better. He's making big plays better than any quarterback maybe in the league right now. I mean, the guy is just absurd when it comes to the big throws down the field, but that's very unsustainable. But Herbert is also, I like Herbert a lot. I like Burrow a lot. I love both of the guys. I think they're both franchise quarterbacks. I would say Burrow is playing more like a veteran who's been around the league. Herbert is playing more like more dynamic, I would say. He's more dynamic, but Burrow is more consistent. Hopkins or Adams, just in general, I think Hopkins is slightly better, and it's because of his ability to win one-on-one balls, slightly better. But they're both great. They're both like basically beside each other. Patriots QB next year will be Mac Jones, Jimmy G, or Jared Stidham. Book it. I hope not. Rob said, I wouldn't mind seeing Cam in San Francisco next year with all the weapons we have. Yes, that would be, I think, a good fit. I mean, Kyle, of course, has experience with those type of quarterbacks. RG3. He did spectacularly with him. I think the ability to add Cam Newton to your rushing attack would be very dynamic without having to rely on him to make a lot of big-time throws, because because Kyle makes it very easy for quarterbacks in that way. So yeah, I do think Cam would be an upgrade for you guys. He'll definitely have a market. I don't think it will be with a lot of teams that are like kind of rebuilding, looking for a bridge quarterback. It's gonna be with a team that, like New England or like San Fran, like a team that feels they have a chance but are just missing a quarterback. Maybe the Browns, to be honest with you, if they somehow Baker just implodes this season, the rest of the year, and he's the reason they don't make the playoffs, Cam could go there. Like a team like that, who's just like Winston last year with the Bucs, where they're like, the Bucs were like, we need a quarterback, so they signed Brady. Not saying Cam's Brady, but I'm just saying like he would be a nice replacement guy for a guy that's not very good on a team that's actually kind of talented. That's what I'm trying to say. I did hear that Shanahan wanted to bring back Jimmy G, but I do think that's kind of coach speak. I just think he's saying that is what I mean. Do I think it's safe to start Jacoby Myers? Yes. Holden, I don't think he's a long-term option for the Patriots, but I do think he's like a 2-year option. 2 to 3 year, depending on his health. He certainly could get this team to the playoffs, in my opinion, with a better supporting cast. It's just kind of crazy that, like, the way Patriots fans, reacted to the stretch is like, yeah, you guys thought this team was going to miss the playoffs regardless. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Who do I think's going to win? I already picked all the games, guys. I'm on to questions. Brian says, who are your Pro Bowl receivers? When I do my Pro Bowl voting, I'll let you know. What's the game next Monday? I don't really know. EDP's plug says, what's up? How's your day going? What's going on, EDP's plug? My day's going all right. Not bad. Trace McSorley or Patrick Mahomes? Obviously, Trace McSorley. Start DK. I think I answered you on Instagram. Do I think Belichick will... I think Hoyer's going to retire. Stidham might stay, though. It's kind of a big year for Stidham, though. He's rather going to get a chance to go somewhere or play somewhere, if that's New England or elsewhere, or he's going to be traded or he's going to be cut. It's a big year for him next year. Big camp. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for joining the live stream once again for my Week 11 NFL picks. If you enjoyed, don't forget to spike that like button. And if you're new, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this and weekly NFL picks. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.